Hey everybody, it's the coach. Welcome to the special Saturday edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the 15-year veteran Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers as they take on Phillip Rivers and the LA Chargers. With that, let's get out to Dignity Health Sports Park in Southern California as we welcome in our guys, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. Under hazy, overcast L.A. skies, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Green Bay Packers and our home team. From up top, I'm Brandon Gordon. Charles Davis, as always, with me as well. And CD, defenses better be on their toes in this one because we got two quarterbacks who love to throw the football, and they throw it very well.
Over 4,000 yards each in the previous season. So what you're saying is, if you're a defender, hope you're prepared properly. Hydrated, stretched, be on your toes, as you said, because the ball's coming your way.
The veteran kicker Mason Crosby set to do the honors here. And we are underway in Southern California. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers, their offense coming out here, and they got a Week 8 win at Chicago 17-16. So not a lot of points put up. In fact, not a lot of yards put up for Phillip Rivers. 201 yards, his lowest output of the season. But there were a couple of drops in there on some deep balls.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking at Phillip Rivers, and it's a natural question. Just like you'd ask of Drew Brees, Tom Brady. Now they're either 40 or approaching 40. Is there a drop-off in their play? And I don't see it with Phillip Rivers. I think there's a drop-off around him. A lot of injuries. The defense isn't quite the same. You mentioned some drop passes. But I think he's still Phillip Rivers, still a guy who can win you football games. And those turned into field goals, and it was just enough to beat Chicago when they missed one at the buzzer.
You mentioned the age for Rivers, 37. He'll be turning 38 in early December. Give him 15 yards on that one and a Charger first down. They are happy to have Hunter Henry back after missing more than a month of the season. And when he came back, made his presence felt in the Sunday nighter Week 6, albeit in a losing effort. But he had 8 catches, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns. From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a carry by the third-year man. This is Austin Eckler. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. With that, let's check out how the Chargers line up on offense.
I have to admit, I've rather enjoyed watching Melvin Gordon's improvement as he's developed as an NFL player because it started for me in college. Every year he was in school, he would add something extra to his game. First year, he knew how to run. He wanted to add pass receiving to his game. The next year, he wanted to add pass protection to his game. Did all of that. That turned him into a first-rounder and now a front-line NFL back.
Now Gordon, and able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. And a peek at the defense for the Packers.
Safety Adrian Amos was a free agent in 2018, and division rival Green Bay took note and brought him to Wisconsin to patrol the center of their defense and also drop down near the line of scrimmage and make some big-time plays in the running game.
The Packers bringing in an extra member of the secondary here to try for the third down stop. From the gun, Rivers. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Fourth down, and on is Ty Long to punt. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. Aaron Rodgers taking the field with the rest of Green Bay's offense. This crew has won 4 in a row, now 7-1 after the Week 8 win at Kansas City. Aaron Rodgers threw 5 touchdowns and over 400 yards in Week 7. He followed that up with over 303 touchdowns in the Sunday night win against Kansas City. So, Charles, I really think it's time they start considering whether or not they want to put Tim Boyle out there.
You thinking maybe it's time to elevate him and give Aaron a little bit of a break?
Oh.
So much about the early season was whether Aaron Rodgers would mesh with his new coach, Matt LaFleur. They started somewhat slowly, even though they were winning games. The mesh is complete now. Those last 2 weeks that you trotted out those numbers, and Aaron Rodgers looks totally in charge out there and totally confident, but you don't feel like the head coach is just a bystander either, do you? You feel like there is a collaboration going on, and that offense is humming. A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Let's go.
Rodgers going to throw. And Graham's got it. Complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 yards on the play. First down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
Next, the receivers help spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
On 2nd down now, it's Jones. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Quickly now, here's a look at the Green Bay offense.
It's tough to be an offensive lineman in Green Bay because their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, knows how to keep plays alive and often extends them for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. But David Bakhtiari, his left tackle, he does it as well as anyone could ever expect. Excellent footwork, knows that the plays are going to stay alive for a long time. Often will get 2 or 3 blocks on the same play.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. He's got his man, Valdez-Scantling. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. A nice first down pickup on a gain of 6. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did. Big-time
pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
A first down run, not going to get him a whole lot. Maybe a yard. Yeah, it looks like just 1 yard there. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9. The starters on defense here for Los Angeles.
It's real easy to talk about Thomas Davis coming back from multiple knee injuries, but he wants his play on the field to be the story.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
So on now for the Packers is their all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. From the right hash, this from 48. And this one is going to just tuck into the bottom left corner as he gets it to go. And the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was hoping for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
Chargers coming back out here, CD. Earlier you noted that 17-16 win over the Bears was by the slimmest of margins because the field goal that was missed by the Bears, a 41-yarder at the end of regulation. But look, the Bolts offense has really struggled, in particular the running game. I mean, in a word, it's been underwhelming. Just 36 yards in Week 8. That's now 4 straight weeks of running for 40 yards or less, and you have to go back to 1946 and the Lions to find the last time that that's happened.
And remember, Melvin Gordon wasn't with the team in the first part of the season, and his return was supposed to be a panacea for the running game. He's only averaged 28 yards in his 4 games of 2019. So there's plenty of talent on the roster. Have some trouble with the offensive line, but their inability to run the football puts a lot of pressure on Phillip Rivers. But let's end it this way. The week before in Tennessee, that was agonizing. A fumble at the goal line with a chance to win. They got one back this week when Eddie Pinheiro missed the field goal for Chicago.
You know, we're not going to end it that way because I can't let you get by on panacea. What is that?
Well, that means that that's supposed to solve everything. It's supposed to be a cure for what ailed them.
How do you spell it?
P-A-N-A-C-E-A.
All right, whatever. And by the way, it's worth noting that the Packers are one of 3 teams that Phillip Rivers has never beaten in his long career in the league. Carolina is one, of course, his own team, the Chargers, another, and then the Packers rounding out the 3. Now Gordon on first down. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Gordon happy to be back in the fold after reporting to the Chargers on September 26. You know, the fan base is happy to have Melvin Gordon back as well. Week 5, his first game back, 12 carries, 31 yards. And he certainly figures to be the bell cow in that backfield for the Chargers going forward. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Zadarius Smith coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
So it's 3rd and long for the Chargers, and Rivers after the sack. Play fake to Gordon. Now Rivers. Open man, it's Allen. The 20. And he takes it down deep into Green Bay territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
And this is complete. It's Allen. No gain there on the completion. It'll be second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for second and goal. On second down, Eckler. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Not only was that a terrific play, but that loss of yardage they created this close to their own goal line, that gives them a little breathing room now as they move them back.
And they're breathing fire a little bit right now, aren't they?
A lot of confidence being shown by them at this point of the game.
So backed up to the 6 now. Third and goal. Working out of the gun, Rivers. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. Zadarius Smith in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to fourth down.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. So on fourth down, on comes the Charger kicker, Michael Badgley. Badgley able to punch this one through. And that will tie us at 3-3. The Chargers, a team that's really been plagued by poor field goal kicking the last decade or so, but I think they feel they've solved their problems with Badgley.
I would say so. He went 15 for 16 in 10 games last season, undrafted out of Miami. And remember, he had 5 field goals in the playoffs against the Baltimore Ravens.
Field goals all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away. This will be taken in at the 1. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Green Bay's offense comes back out here, Charles. And, you know, it's 7-1 as we were discussing earlier. They're playing great football, 4 wins in a row. If you look at the past few weeks, some teams have elevated themselves. The Patriots, obviously, 49ers and the Saints, they all fit in that category. I think you got to put the Packers right there with them, don't you?
I think you do, and earlier in the season, I think people were reluctant to do that because people were running the ball effectively against them. They're wondering about their defense. That's gotten better as well. So when you put it all together and Aaron Rodgers is elevated back to Aaron Rodgers territory, I agree totally. They are right in that mix, and it makes for some really exciting games coming up because if I'm not mistaken, the Packers and San Francisco will match up later this season.
They will, but coming up first, you're going to have the Packers go to the Chargers, and that might be a Packer home game in Southern California. We'll see.
No doubt about it. A lot of green and gold will be in the stands with that blue and gold of the Chargers.
And the challenge pays dividends. The ref overturns the play.
Everyone gets a bonus on this one, Brandon. The coach upstairs who signaled down and said challenge it, and the head coach for pulling the red flag.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Now Rodgers. This complete to Jones. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Got an open man, it's Valdez-Scantling. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 21 yards. So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. The connection made, it's Graham. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 13 yards, 1st down, Packers. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the 1st down run. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone. They'll run on 1st down. It's Jones. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Out on the edge, you love to have cornerbacks like that can bring him down in the run game.
And you're also exposed to everyone. It really becomes a one-on-one play, doesn't it? You're out there by yourself on the edge. The best ones know how to make the play, and we just saw an example of it right there.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Rodgers. It's Williams on the catch.
Here comes the ball. I see you, boy. I see you.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He hit his first, this one from 40 yards out. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember.
But when it all comes together and you get the field goal block that's been designed, that's been drawn up, everyone has to feel good about it on that side of the ball. How about that one there? To the left side, knew what they had. That's where they wanted to be, and they got their designated guy turned free.
Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
So now a chance for points in the opposite direction after the blocked field goal. They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. 3-3, a tight one after one on EA Sports. Charger football to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 2nd down and 2 coming up.
Ready! 190. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. The Chargers on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Here's Ty Long now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. Last time they had a little bit of a special teams breakdown. That field goal was blocked.
Yeah, and everything has to be precise in the kicking game. Snap, hold, kick. Obviously the blocking to keep people out. So what you really want to do is get in there and get 6 points and take the pressure off of those guys.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 27. Working from the gun, Rodgers. It's caught here by Adams. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Davante Adams, 73 yards. And the Packers have taken the lead.
Well, if the plan is to come in here and go toe-to-toe with these guys, it certainly does not hurt if you hit them with a big shot along the way, too.
That's got to give them some confidence. And the other thing right now, it quiets this crowd, at least for the time being.
Yeah, that is what is called the intended consequence of their actions.
On is Mason Crosby for the point after. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again here on offense, Keenan Allen marches back onto the field. He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
They'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the second quarter. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now Rivers going to give it off to Gordon. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Gordon, a Pro Bowler for the second time last season, 885 yards, 10 touchdowns, and that was only in 12 games played a season ago. And he also switched jersey numbers in the offseason from 28 to 25, and 25, that's the number he wore when he was dominating the Big Ten college gridiron for the Badgers of Wisconsin. On 2nd and 2, Rivers, he's going to look for, and that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen, 67 yards, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches, and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Michael Badgley on for the extra point. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
And we'll see if it's that easy here. Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now it's Rodgers. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Jerry Tillery busting through to get him for a loss of 6. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Now Rodgers. And he finds his tight end, Graham. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Packers on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he finds Jimmy Graham. He's up over 50 yards receiving now in this first half. It's a first down.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
Rodgers now. Only one pass has hit the ground for him. 10 of 11 thus far. It's 1st and 10. To throw, it's Rodgers. Open here is Allison. That's complete. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first.
Let's go!
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 43. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Throwing on 2nd down. Rodgers looking middle, and it's incomplete. The veteran tight end Mercedes Lewis, the intended receiver. But now it'll be 3rd down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Now Rodgers on 3rd down. He sets up the screen to Jones. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. A short gain there of just 4, and that'll bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
On now is Mason Crosby, who's hit from as far as 58 in his career. This will be from 56 yards out. And this won't get there. Won't be on line either. It's no good. Off to the right. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2. So another long try for 3 and another kick that comes up lacking.
Yeah, this isn't going to do any wonders for his field goal percentage, but you have to figure as a head coach that when you send a guy out there to try and kick from that distance, it's a 50-50 proposition at best.
And we spotlight Keenan Allen as he gets set to go back to work, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defense, is getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
The Charger drive about to get going, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Well, Charles, 18 of the 32 teams have now played 8 games, half their season. The other 14 will reach the midway point next week, so we'll save the midseason grades and awards until then. But
thank you. I like that.
Yeah, we'll wait on that. But let's look at a few underperforming teams thus far that have played 8 games, and you tell me what you think their final record's going to be. Now, let's start with the Chargers at 3-5.
Big win in Chicago on Sunday. I like them to go 5-3 down the stretch, and that gives them 8 wins actually have them go 6-2. I think they're going to go 9-7.
Ooh, right there on the edge of the playoffs. Okay, let's stay in the AFC West. How about the Broncos at 2-6 right now?
I just don't see that offense improving. I think that they win 2 more games and go 4-12.
Okay. And Giants, 2-6. They're underperforming.
Yeah, but their schedule really lightens up on the back end. They're playing hard. I'm going to give them 6 wins, 6-10.
Lastly, and I might duck under the table when you answer this one, the Falcons at 1-7.
That's a tough one because I wonder about what's going to happen with their head coach. But I think they'll play better down the stretch. 4 wins, 4-12.
You're off the hot seat, my friend.
Thank you.
You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Here's Ty Long now as he's on to punt for L.A. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. Last time out they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
They'll start out on the ground with Jones. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23. The Packers on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Rodgers now to throw. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. The former number 3 pick, Joey Bosa, bringing the lumber that time. And we say to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Deep for the Chargers, Desmond King. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well.
Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
First down, Rivers. It's complete to Williams. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First down, Los Angeles there with a pickup of 14 yards. And he's the guy, Mike Williams, that the Chargers took 7th overall a couple of years ago. Battled injuries as a rookie, but in full health last year, he caught 43 passes with a knack of really finding the end zone. 10 of those 43 catches went for touchdowns. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. Tramon Williams there to break that one up. Partner, earlier I asked you about some teams that were underperforming so far. Well, right now let's play a game arrow up, arrow down. I'll give you teams that are kind of in the middle of the pack. You tell me if they're going to go up or down second half of the season. Let's start with the Raiders at 3 and 4.
Arrow up. I think they're going to beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and they will beat someone good down the stretch.
Okay, now Jacksonville, they're 500 right now, 4 and 4.
Yeah, but their division is conducive to their arrow going up. Gardner Minshew playing well. Maybe Nick Foles comes back, and I like that defense.
Okay, the Lions got a win last week to get to 3-3-1. How about them?
Don't like their division. Minnesota, Green Bay within division. Unfortunately, arrow down.
Lastly, how about the Panthers, 4 and 3?
Defense is supposed to travel. That was a tough one in San Francisco last Sunday. Still think that'll happen, and I do believe Cam Newton will come back this season. Arrow up.
An opening there on that first down run as he gets this forward for about 8 or 9. That looks to be 8 officially, so 2nd and 2. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Rivers out quickly here to Allen. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
Now that was well defended. And as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
The Chargers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, Rivers. He's got a man open. That's Allen. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. The Charger first down. Rivers hooking up with Allen.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Rivers now closing in on a 200-yard first half through the air. It's 1st and 10. Here's Rivers. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. The intended receiver there, Allen. Well, we have a moment here after that incompletion with it being Halloween week. Let's do something Halloween themed. Give me your 3 scariest defenses in the NFL.
Ooh, I love your theme. I like that.
Corny as ever.
Yeah, corny but good. All right, let's start with the Minnesota Vikings because their ability to mix and match, how cohesive they are as a veteran unit, and big-time playmakers at every level. And Harrison Smith, the fixer, the guy can go up and down, backwards and forwards, and make plays for you. Number 2 for me, San Francisco. They could easily be number 1. The problem is New England is just outstriping everyone. But think about what San Francisco is doing. Youngsters up front, guys in the back end, Richard Sherman having a career year, a rebirth type of a year. But New England giving up 6.7 points per game, or is it 7.6 points per game?
7.6.
7.6. I'm trying to make it even better than what it already is. But those Patriots, you can't really name too many stars. Probably Stephon Gilmore, their corner. But after that, they just play so well it doesn't matter. They're the Patriots, and they shut you down.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
They stick to the ground game on first down. It's Williams. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. And they'll try the jet sweep here. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time, because let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
The Packers on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Rodgers operating from the gun. And Graham's got it. Complete. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Here's J.K. Scott now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. All tied up at 10, 2 minutes left in the first half. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's got it to Williams. Give him 15 yards on that one and a Charger first down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
Rivers now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. Now a pass here caught by Hunter Henry. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That one good for 13 and a Charger first.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Working out of the gun, Rivers. Caught by Allen. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. They had 2 straight first downs, now a gain of 9 to set up 2nd and 1.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
180. Here we go. Check, tight right.
Looking to throw again on second down. Rivers. Allen's got it complete. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Rivers now rebounding nicely after the interception. He's hit 4 straight to start the drive. It's first down. To throw, Rivers. He'll get this to Eckler. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. To the air again here, Rivers. For Keenan Allen, that's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 12 yards there and a first down. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Rivers with a 1st and 10. And he's hit on all 6 of his throws on this drive. They'll throw again. Rivers. This will be caught just inside the 10. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Give him 4 yards there, and that should be the final play of this first half. So we have reached halftime here in a good one. 10-10 is our score. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. But they are all even to this point. So to see if either side can pull away, let's get you right back out to Brandon and Charles for the start of the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. This one fielded at the 5. And a very nice return up to the 35, but was it aided by something illegal? Let's find out. So that will push him back.
And now we know why he had a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back, that penalty will move them back.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
From the 25 on second down. Rodgers got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the second foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 inbounds in the NFL. Partner, the head coach is out of challenges now for the rest of the game. I'm not too sure he wouldn't like to have a few more challenges in his pocket.
And when they first started challenges in the NFL, people were wondering what's the right amount.
Yeah, I'm not sure that there's a flat-out determination, but I do like where we are because I think it does leave strategy in the game, and the head coach has to make a decision about when exactly is the right time to pull the challenge flag.
On first down, Jones. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
To throw on second and 6, Rodgers. Oh, free safety blitz. That can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Here's Rodgers to throw. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. A big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28.
Let's go.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. Carryover from the first half. That defensive line continues to control the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're actually playing the game in the offense's backfield. They're taking those offensive linemen and pushing them back towards the quarterback and towards the runners. I still don't think, though, that you abandon the running game totally, because if you do, you're asking for a lot more hits on your QB.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. From the gun, it's Rodgers. The connection made, it's Graham. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Melvin Ingram dropping the hammer off the edge.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Getting set to go again here on offense, Keenan Allen marches back onto the field. And now he's inching closer to a 200-yard game. He's been so solid.
And he's really denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to give up. You never want to give up a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. He's closing in on 200 yards. Wow, that's a really big game.
The Charger drive about to get going. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
On 1st and 10, Rivers. Now a hit, and Rivers lost the football, and the Packers pick it up. And he will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Green Bay touchdown. So many times tight games decided by one big play. And a lot of times, of course, it's the offense. Here, it's the defense coming up huge.
And you know head coaches walk around locker rooms, walk around bench areas saying, guys, somebody make a play. It's a cliche, but it applies here.
Now Crosby for the point after. He's got it as they go up by a total of 17-10. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Chargers offense gets set. They head back onto the field. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll try and get the ground game going. Here's Gordon. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Rivers hands off to Eckler. It's a 6-yard run, leaves him with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with 3rd down coming up.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Got white 90, 390.
They'll try and run it. Here's Gordon. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
On third down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
Check, 380, 380. I got you, boy. Good.
Play fake to Gordon. Now Rivers. It's Williams on the catch. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Tight down. There you go. Wait, 89.
Now Rivers. Complete. Hunter Henry with a grab. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Rivers. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Rivers incomplete on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10. Rivers going to turn and give this one to his running back, Gordon. And this Green Bay defense making that play look a lot like the previous one. Both tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. Zadarius Smith able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He hit his first, this one from 38. Badgley's kick is good. And that will cut this lead back down to 4 now. It's 17-13. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
After the made field goal, Badgley back out there for the kickoff. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the Pack up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Shotgun now for Rodgers. This one to the right, caught by Valdez-Scantling. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. Rodgers going to run the option here left. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
And this is one of those plays that if you can use it to keep the chains moving, it's a good play. And not only that, it tends to tamp down the pass rushers because they have to recognize this play and stay at home. The quarterback uses it well. Read option, keeps it, and picks up a first down with some nice running.
Throwing now is Rodgers. And he finds his tight end, Graham. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll get this out wide to Allison. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
This has been a good drive so far, and it's been the running game for the most part that's powered them down there. Another nice burst there, picking up a first down. Now it's 1st and 10, as you said, in the red zone.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On 2nd down now. It's Jones, and he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
That's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. 2nd and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through, and has a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a 3rd down.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Working from the gun, Rodgers. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Now Mason Crosby for the Packers field goal try. And remember, he had one blocked earlier. The fake field goal catches everyone by surprise. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice two-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Extra point try now for Crosby. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays. And the result, a Green Bay score. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Rivers. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. With that incompletion, let's take a quick peek ahead to Week 9. Some of the intriguing games. First off, one that you're calling. How about the red-hot Vikings at the Chiefs? That's going to be fun.
That's going to be a blast. And I made a prediction last week that if the Chiefs lost to the Packers at home, if there was any way possible Patrick Mahomes would play against Minnesota, they're going to try their best to have him ready for that one. They need him. Hard to believe the Chiefs have lost 3 in a row at home.
How about the Sunday night game, too? Patriots-Ravens.
Yeah, that's going to be a heck of a ball game because the Patriots defense, historical proportions is what we're seeing from them. But here comes Lamar Jackson with his elusiveness at quarterback. That's going to be a blast to see how they game plan for his legs.
Bears and Eagles, those teams need that win.
Yeah, the Eagles got a huge one last week, going to Buffalo and winning against a stout defense. The Bears, once again, missing a field goal. That rears its ugly head. The Bears absolutely, positively have to have this one.
And then lastly, the game of the week, Jets-Dolphins.
Yeah, someone's got to win that one, right? And if I were the Jets, I'd be very concerned about this one. I think this is the one the Dolphins circled on their calendar, circled on their schedule. This is the one the Dolphins may very well go get.
So with a yardage on that completion, he's now right at exactly 300 yards on the game.
And isn't that the magic number you get? All right, 300. That means it's going to go on a commemorative football to put on your mantle when they give you the game ball if your team wins. So much confidence flowing through him right now, throwing the football. I think it's permeated itself throughout the entire team. They feel good about what they're doing.
Rivers now nearing the 300-yard mark with still a quarter to play. It's 1st and 10. A run there on 1st down and a pretty good one at 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
From the 45 on second down. Rivers, he's got Allen. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 36. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
This quarterback now over 300 yards now for the game, and time to improve on that as he's got a 1st and 10. Here's Gordon, and he won't get much. Maybe a couple down inside the 35 to the 34. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Phillip Rivers, no stranger to fourth quarter comebacks. He's led the Chargers back to victory 26 times coming into this year. But work to do here if he wants to add another notch to the belt. That's complete to Williams out of the backfield. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 24-yard line. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Rivers now finding Mike Williams, and he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good. And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it. Finding Williams once more, complete. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 12-yard line. This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving. Rivers now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Rivers, he leaves to Eckler on the draw. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. On the tackle that time, Dean Lowry. Defense simply not fooled by the draw there. Well, they were thinking run to begin with, and what they tell their defensive linemen is play the run on your way to the quarterback. If someone shows, go get him, and that's exactly what they did.
Come get some. Come on here. Come get some.
Looking to throw on second down. Rivers, Tremont Williams there to break that one up.
I think that's a big-time play there because the slant route is really hard to cover because the timing is so quick. But able to see it, diagnose it, and get to the football, that's why he was able to bat it away.
The Chargers on third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 10.
80 hot. White, 80 hot.
Working out of the gun, Rivers. He'll get this one complete to Davis. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Receivers love having the reputation of being go-to guys on third down, and he was fighting like he really wanted to have that reputation, didn't he? I mean, he came very close to making that a first down.
Broke the one tackle, but couldn't spring himself free. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Badgley able to knock this one through, and that'll make this an 8-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back. preferably a takeaway.
After the made field goal, Badgley back out there for the kickoff. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here's Aaron Jones in the offense trotting back out. And as we peer at the numbers, he got off to a struggling start, but since then really found his rhythm.
And I think that comes together with not just the halftime adjustments, but just that quiet confidence. If you just keep doing the things you've been working on, eventually there will be creases. You know, find those gaps in the defense, keep working on them, and maybe what didn't happen very well for you in the beginning of the game, it starts to open up as the game moves on.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. The field goal we just saw has us now at a one-score game, and on this side of the football, things are getting pretty tenuous, a little stressful.
Blood pressure up a little bit, you think?
I think up a lot of it.
Could you imagine taking the pulse right now? It might be like a jackhammer out there on that side of the ball. But here's what the deal is. I think what we've observed is a team that's been playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win. And they've got to get back to that. And that means opening things up again, being a little more free in what they're trying to get done on offense.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line.
What's the run? They're running it.
Operating from the gun. Rodgers. And Graham's got it. Complete. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. To throw is Rodgers. And left side here, it's Graham. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here's Jones. Joey Bosa in on the stop. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Now, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sack back of the 29. Joey Bosa picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Enough to start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. To throw, it's Rodgers. Jones has it. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and that will bump the lead up to 11. So his second field goal of the game, and that could turn out to be the big one.
Yeah, you have to make them score twice to beat you, and that's not impossible. But here in the fourth quarter, puts their backs clearly against the wall.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And the Chargers coming out on the field now. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 26. From the gun, Rivers. He'll get this to Eckler. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it 2nd down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. To throw, Rivers. He completes it to Henry. And he'll have it past midfield, almost to the 40 before being taken down. A gain there of 30 big ones.
That's a real nice job right there, working the middle of the field, working against those safeties. And you know, partner, if you get your hips turned the wrong way, big plays can result.
And a big play resulted right there. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. From the gun, Rivers. Allen's got it complete. The end result, 21 yards. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Gordon. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 7 yards there and a 1st down. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the 1st down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
Rivers. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, you're trailing. It's the 4th quarter, and you've got to throw the football. But the defense knows this, too. So they're just going to sit back, bring in an extra defensive back or two, the old nickel or dime strategy, Brandon, and wait for you to put that bad boy up for grabs. And this one winds up being intercepted.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Watch tight. Tight is right. We got 4.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Got his man, it's Williams. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Throwing is Rodgers. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Joey Bosa able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And he's going to drop this off to Williams, complete. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Here's J.K. Scott now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. On the return, it's King. 51 yards on the punt there. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Phillip Rivers now gears up to lead the offense on the field. With his guys trailing here in the 4th, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to play perfect or near perfect football if you want to get your team back into the game. But it's also tough to do when you're trying to avoid errors, yet still play perfect football.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. Rivers to throw it. It's complete to Williams. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. They're giving those short little routes. Tackled him in bounds, too. They're just not wanting to get beat over the top.
Yeah, and if you can't really get downfield, take the short routes. But now you've got to have guys who can actually break tackles and increase those gains.
The Chargers on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This time it's 3rd and 3. Rivers pass on target to Hunter Henry. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a 1st down to boot. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
180, 190. I'm coming for you, son. I'm coming for you, son. Get on!
On 1st and 10, Rivers. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
Oh, yeah.
Short play like that in this situation this late, that's a win for the defense.
No doubt. I remember something Coach Madden used to talk about all the time. Sometimes you can't just take what the defense gives you. You have to take what you need. And in this case, the offense is taking what the defense is giving them, not what they need.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. To the air again here, Rivers. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a third down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. To throw is Rivers. And the incompletion there, so that breaks a string of 5 straight hookups. It also leads to a fourth down.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. Now Rivers on fourth down. And it's complete. Henry. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down L.A. Fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Rivers on first down. Shakes off the sack. Now a hit, and Rivers lost the football. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Now the Chargers hustling, trying to get up and get set. Another try after the first down sack. Rivers. And he's going to go down again. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And I think we'll probably see him go for it here on fourth down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Throwing Rivers. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. This is caught inside the 15. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. Of course, remember, you need a touchdown here and a field goal.
Doesn't matter the order, but they have to get it done and get it done fast.
First down now, but that clock rolling. Rivers now to throw on first down. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Chargers going to use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. Rivers. for a late touchdown, but probably a little too late. It would take a miracle of epic proportions if they're going to pull this one off.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Rivers to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
They attempted to fade to the back corner of the end zone unsuccessfully. And I've been with you long enough, Brandon. I know that's not one of your favorite calls.
Well, it's interesting. Before working with you, I always viewed that as you're just taking away space and you're trapping yourself in a corner. But you actually have told me they're trying to create space where space is not.
Yeah, it's really a weird deal, isn't it? But you've got to just move that defender inside to create that separation and that little bit of space where there just isn't much.
So the clock sits at 16 seconds as they line up for the onside kick. And this is recovered by the Packers, so that might just about do it. Well, for a second there, I had flashbacks to a few years ago, the NFC Championship game for the Packers, but here they're able to hold on.
And many things changed in Green Bay after that game. Personnel, people coaching, the whole deal. And in this case, they get it done. No fail like they had in Seattle.
Rodgers will take a knee here, and that should be all she wrote. Well, as always, partner, an extreme pleasure to share a booth with you. I have to say, I am impressed at your discipline because you came here and you said you were not going to eat any of the media buffet. You made it to the end. You didn't consume a single calorie.
I appreciate that. What you missed is me going to the concession stand outside of your eyesight and getting it done that way. Look, I mean, they were serving the good stuff. I had to do it.
Oh, man, but you're svelte, in good shape, but you cheated a little bit. We'll let it slide.
I appreciate that. Always a pleasure to work with you.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gordon. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Southern California.